Hey there, Shooby Doodlers. How are you doing? It is Thursday, the 25th of March, 2021, and it is publication day. This is my book, Walker, The Mystery of the Missing Millions, which was published today. And some of you, I know, were watching at 1:30 UK time, a little bit earlier this afternoon, as I launched the book. Thanks to the Big Dog Festival, which is run by the Wigtown Book Festival up in Scotland, and we had lots of schools watching, and I know because I was looking at the chat there were quite a few of you watching too, making comments as well. And Gabriel says, hello all. Boy, it doesn't feel like it's been 3 weeks. I can assure you it does. It's been quite yeah, it's been a lot more than I expected. And I had the jam in the middle of it all as well, if you remember. So we've got Irina Magay, who is a new patron. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. And you'll find many of those watching on here, Irina, are also patrons. So maybe you'll come along on Saturday. If you join me on Patreon, join us on Patreon, then on Saturday I'm doing 2 Zoom tutorials all about watercolour, going right back to the beginning with like, this is a brush, this is paint, this is paper, what are we going to do with it? So if you are sort of always wanted to have a go at watercolour and just didn't know where to start, or you've tried things and it hasn't quite got, come and start right at the beginning, and come and join us too on Patreon. You will find links in the description box below. So Judy says, tea's in the pot. Mine is in the mug, thank you. And hi Karen, and hi Karina, and hi Judy. Louise O'Connell, hi everybody. Arturo, hello there. Hola. Beanie 2021, hi Joyce. Hello again. Joyce is in Wigtown, and she runs the Old Bank Bookshop there. And if Ian's there as well, hi Ian. Martin Brody, this is going to turn into a request show soon, isn't it? Arturo, I love your shirt, she. Well, thank you very much. I felt I ought to have a special shirt. It's been really weird lockdown. I have lots of nice shirts, which I kind of have for when I go visiting schools and kind of doing performances. And they've all just been sitting in my wardrobe for a year, where I've been wearing really boring shirts. and so today I thought, I'm going to put on one of my performing shirts today and pretend I'm out there doing it. Stacey Newby, I missed it. Congrats. Well, I think I put a link in the description box below. You should be able to go and find it. I think Wigtown kind of might take it off and edit it, I'm not quite sure, but it will be available and I'll let you know. Trails TM, I tried to watch but only could see the website, could not watch any live feed. Oh, that's a shame. Must have been something going on there. Technical difficulties. Crispin, hi. Oh, hi Crispin. And Prasoon Mishra, I think that's a new name, I think. So hello there, Prasoon. How are you doing? So, what is going on? Today is the last day of my hashtag Dogs of Influence series of drawings. And today we got an interesting dog today. Let's tell you first about this. So this is my book, Walker, The Mystery of the Missing Millions, and it is the second book in my Walker series. This is Walker, the boy who can talk to dogs. And so I wanted to kind of do a bit of something to build up to the publication day, which is today. Have I mentioned that? So Walker is a boy who can talk to dogs. And the second book has now been published. So I am thinking about the third one. My publishers get nervous at this point, think, so I have a plot in my head, and what I want is to have a kind of a big dog show kind of thing called dogs of influence. And all the dogs that will be at the show will be kind of like Instagram dogs of Instagram. There is a real thing, hashtag dogs of Instagram. Go and have a look. And all these dogs of Instagram, some of them have got millions of followers, so they're real influencers. They just have to be seen eating meaty chunks, and everybody goes out and buys eat meaty chunks, so they're getting paid by Meaty Chunks Corporation. And hey, I should get a dog and do those. I want this kind of group of dogs, and I thought, I'm going to have to sit down and really think about creating a group of dogs. And then, ding! I thought maybe my viewers could help me create a group of dogs. So I asked right at the beginning people to send me pictures of their dogs and ideas for why they might be influencers, and had all sorts of things. And I'm so sorry if you have sent me one of your dogs and I haven't done a drawing of it so far, then thank you so much for sending them in, but I'm afraid there's only a limited number of places. But again, thank you very much for sending them in. And then what happened? Yeah, so this is what I want to kind of write this story. So I'm thinking about the story as well, and I'm thinking, how can maybe some of these dogs have really kind of given me ideas, and it's not actually the ideas I think that people have written down. I think they've sparked off other ideas in my head. And now, do you remember Spanky, whose influencer name is Big Ben, and he's a Mastiff. He's enormous. But remember I drew this little kitten alongside to give a bit of perspective, to show just quite how big he was. And I got that from this photograph. So there is the real Spanky. It was enormous, as you can see. And this little kitten here is Oliver. And it does almost look, if you look too quickly, it does almost look like Oliver is kind of taking a huge bite out of Spanky's paw. But in fact, I think they're having a bit of a hug. And Oliver is going, and sort of having a little sleep, and they're having a bit of a love-in, really, which is what actually happens, because they're actually best of friends. And so I drew this little kitten, and I thought, lovely. And then Julie said, yeah, well, he's an interesting cat, this one, because he thinks he's a dog. So, that's not what you want. That's all my email stuff. I will have to edit that out. Oh, no, let's get rid of that. You don't want to see that. Hang on, cancel. We want to get rid of that. We want to do this. I hope you didn't see all my email stuff. I want to show this. No, I don't want to show that either. Where has it gone? Here we are. That's what I'm trying to show. Technology. I thought I was being so clever having that set up. This is Oliver, who's a cat called Dog. Well, he's not actually called Dog, but as an influencer, he would be called Dog. I've lost my glasses again. Oh, there they are. Hang on a moment. It's been a busy day. And Julie said that Oliver insisted I send his photo and description. I tried to explain the rules, but rules weren't meant for Oliver Honey Badger. So he's got this other name, Oliver Honey Badger. So a honey badger is a pretty ferocious creature. So Oliver loves to go for a walk on leash, fetch toys, do tricks like spin in a circle, sit, down, come, high five. You can see, look, can you see that down there, the high five on a kayak? They're out, and he's got his little life jacket on, which is really great. He's high five, and he likes to play with his dog friends. He's won an agility competition, and he loves to go out on the water in a kayak. Kayak. Sounds like a fun dog, right? The only problem is he looks an awful lot like a cat. You have to admit he does. Oliver got his middle name, Honey Badger, for being the most curious, most confident, most determined, most problem-solvingest animal, cat or dog you'll ever meet. Oliver Honey Badger can do anything he sets his mind to. And what he wants to be is a dog. I can't argue with that. So obviously the thing to do is to, we need to draw Oliver Honey Badger. So I'm coming over to see it now, and there's Spanky. There he is, a little kid, little. And I've been doing lots and lots of sketches here, trying to work out. See, I normally, where did I have? Oh, I had it. Yeah, I've drawn cat books before. This is probably the one I'm best known for. It's called The Ginger Ninja. This is Tiddles, who was the most horrid school bully. And here, these cats are very much, they're kind of humans. They stand up on their back legs. So they're very much humans. But what I'm looking for is sort of cartoony characters, but they need to look like animals rather than humans dressed up. So I'm trying to get that sort of essence of cat. Cats are actually really difficult things to draw. They're so kind of lithe and supple, and so I know some of you want to follow along. So let's have a go. So here's the sheet of paper, and I'm going to start round about. That's the middle, so I'm going to start about here. That pencil is broken, so I'll get another one. So I'm going to draw a circle about like that, and we want to sort of draw these ears coming out there. And the more I look at cat ears, you think they're just, you normally draw, as a kid, you draw a cat like that, and that works perfectly. But in fact, their ears, they're very like the wings of a Spitfire aircraft, and they have this sort of kind of parabolic kind of shape to them. So you want to sort of go gently around the corner and then curve that way too. And then that sort of goes up into there. And then we have lots of fluff inside. And this is where it starts getting tricky. So we need to get sort of three-dimensional. And so imagine this is the kind of meridian line, like Greenwich Mean Time line that's going from North Pole to South Pole. And then this would be the equator about there. So we're going to want the nose just under that line there. It's a very cute little nose. And then we've got this line here that we can then work with. So we're going to have a line coming down there, and then sort of three sort of stripes coming down from the top of the forehead. And we need a very subtle little curve here. So it's like there's a music note, isn't there? Something like that. I can't remember. But it's a very subtle kind of S shape. And then in there we want to kind of fit an eye, and that's going to be an ellipse. And then on this side we want to fit another eye. Actually, let's just come over sideways a bit. The further you take it around, the more sort of cute and kitten-like it's going to be. About there. And then we need to work out where those eyes are going to be, so they're looking at us, and of course eyes have these weird cats have these weird slit eyes, don't they? And then I'm going to not follow the curve, but I'm going to drop that straight down, and then just a nice little smile. I think this needs to be just slightly more over this way like that. And then we can have sort of teeth underneath it. So it's not a real cat, it's a cartoon cat. So if it's going to be able to talk to Walker, this is Walker down here. I can't. That's Walker there. And if the cat's going to be able to talk to him, he's going to be able to manipulate his mouth and lips like a human being can. So that's kind of there. And then we're going to want that sort of curving a little bit there, just a slight in there, and then we'll bring that around, and then that actually wants to sort of come into a bit of a chin like that, and then have a touch of neck. And then cats have quite long necks down into the chest. There's the wind's picking up, it's going to blow my door open. And then we want that sort of the shoulders coming along there, and then quite straight along there, and then sort of curving down. And then we're going to want the tail. I'm going to have the tail in that kind of inquisitive kind of cat way like that. Now we talked about skeletons and stuff these last 3 weeks, and sort of the way the bones work and anatomy, and it's the same thing here. We're going to have sort of shoulder blades there. That'll be the shoulder joint, and then that'll be the down to the elbow. Yeah. So when you think your elbow goes back, so you got shoulder goes backwards to the elbow, and then down to this great long bone here is coming down. Well, in fact, it's going to be sort of to about there will be the wrist, and then quite often it sort of curves forward a little bit like that, and then we're going to have the digits on the end. So basically we're going to see something like that, and we're going to want the other paw sort of coming down about there on the other side there. The chest is going to sort of come deep and up into the stomach there, and then we want the back leg, and we got the hips there, and we got the the hip joint, and then that goes forward to the knee, and then that will come down to the ankle, and again then we got that sort of usually pretty straight down thing going on there, sort of vertical gravity kind of thing to the digits or toes, paws at the bottom, so that we can bring that curve. I think that might need to be a little bit longer. I think I might do something like that, and maybe bring that, I think maybe I could bring that a little bit longer down there actually. I'm just giving you nice longer legs. And then that will just sort of curve gently around there, and then cats tend to have a quite sharp angle there, and then we want the hip joint, which is going to come into a nice sort of curve down like that. And is that feeling like it's about on the same? I'm gonna see, this is where we can play with it, so I'm going to do that about there, and to about there, bring that paw actually about there, and then the other one is going to be coming down around about there. So these want to be kind of on the same kind of level. That wants to be just slightly higher there than this one, because we've got a perspective thing going on there, and that's kind of there. So that's a sort of first version, and then to be able to tidy it up, I am getting Seawhite of Brighton, 50 grams per square meter, Crispin, not inch, 50 grams per square meter paper, 50 GSM, that's easy to say. In America, I think you tend to do pounds per square yard or something like that. Anyway, you just call it £50 or something. This isn't £50, but whatever it is. It's very thin paper, as you can see. I can see through. It's not as transparent as tracing paper, but it has a similar kind of effect. I'm wondering whether I can find one. Yeah, this pencil. So I'm just going to now do a kind of a smoother version, kind of smooth out any problems that I've had. And then I'm going to do another version again onto watercolour paper. So here, this is where I can kind of just slightly change things a little bit if I need to. Those will go about there, and then I know that eye wants to go about there, and I think I can maybe take that one more there. That works. And then we've got that little kind of S which comes to the nose, and then we want that. I think maybe there's too much of the teeth there, and then that's the. I think actually we can maybe even cut out a bit more there, just shaving a bit off. We've got sort of marks and things around the place. I wonder if I should have a collar on. So I'm going to put in a collar here. A little buckle, which I'm sure Oliver Honey Badger doesn't actually work, because I think he generally has a kind of a harness thing on, but I haven't quite got enough reference to really work that out. And I'm going to bring that tail out there, like that, and then we want this chest coming there, so we're looking not really lithe and lanky. Now when it comes down to these paws, then I'm going to go up and down like that, and then straight up there like that. I'm going to go up and down. Oop, that's probably a bit too much. I'm going to just curve that up a bit there, I think, and then we'll bring this down here again, and again up and down, and we've got this dog leg at the back. It's called a dog leg, but of course we have a cat, and so we can draw these paws in there like that, and then we just want this one to come down there. We're just going to go up and down, up like that, and then that will then sort of go off up there, and I think I'm happier with that now. So now I'm going to get some watercolour paper. I've been churning my way through this. So this again is Seawhite 350 GSM. So this is quite heavy duty, which means I don't have to stretch it and pin it down and tape it and things, because it can take quite a bit of battery. I'll turn off the main light so you'll see it a little bit easier what's going on. And all this tracing means that you could get it all nicely positioned in the right place, and you can work out those little things, you know, in the first sketch. I didn't quite go right, I can just change that and just get it right. and I know some people do a bit funny when it comes to tracing, and they say it's cheating, but it's only cheating if you're copying somebody else's. Now, cats have that kind of weird thing going on there, don't they? Or something like that. Pretend I didn't draw that. I'm just going to let that kind of fade away a bit like that, and put some sort of fur in. They get very hairy in the ears. And we've got that sort of curvy thing. It probably has a name. Maybe we got a cat ear expert watching who will tell us. And I'm sort of wanting to get this. Oh, I think I'm not quite sure about that. So I'm going to suggest that. I'm going to take that slightly short of that little S shape like that, and then come up around that. So that's the nose. And we'll get one eye and two eyes, and then we want this cat look, so I'm going to sort of put that down to there, and then that up there, so you get that sort of Queen of Sheba kind of Maria Callas kind of eye makeup look. And here I'm going to draw sort of a long curve, and then another one, and then another one, and then not quite. I'm going to leave this little bite in there, basically, and do a similar thing on this side. And that's the kind of shiny reflection in the pupil. And then we're going to want some marks up above there as well. And we can draw this little smile like that, and we're going to want some sort of markings under there as well. I'm kind of reluctant to do too much marking, because I'm going to do that with the paint later, but I'm just going to suggest some markings in there. Now, this is not quite right. I'm not quite happy with this, but we'll keep going. I think the ones I did in the sketchbook are better. Maybe I'm tired. I can. That's always a good excuse. We'll make that a little bit fluffy and furry on that side, so that we can do this. I mean, I have been performing all afternoon, so That's my excuse anyway. We'll bring that out there, bring that back again. I think the head is going to be a bit too small actually. I think I need to practice that. I haven't been... See, I've been drawing cats. I've been drawing dogs rather for the last month, and so I haven't really been thinking about cats. And so I'm going to do that. These are very smooth legs. I'm going to bring that up to about there, and then the chest will come there. And then we want to bring that down there. And it's quite sharp, that bit in a cat. It's which is the ankle. And that will come down to there. And again, we'll come and do that and that. And we'll come down here and up and there. And that will go up to there. Yes. I think that head is too small. I need to do a bit more thinking and looking and observing about sort of head to body lengths and all that kind of thing. So Oliver, I think, has got a bit of, I think it was Burmese, was it? Because we'll have a cat now called Mr. Darcy, but his mother, she was her mother, so Mr. Darcy's grandmother, Mr. Darcy's grandmother was an Aussie cat. And an Aussie cat, I meant to be using my other paints, aren't I? An Aussie cat it looks a bit like an ocelot, which has a lovely sort of golden brown orangey coat with spots. So with cats, usually it's quite unusual to see spots on a domestic cat, and I think that there's some kind of Burmese or something like that going on with Oliver here, in his hereditary background. So basically, I have mixed up some bit of ochre and a bit of French ultramarine. Actually, I'm going to mix up quite a bit because I want to make sure I've got enough to keep me going, and so that I don't mix up a different colour again. And I'm just going to do a quick little test up there. That'll do. Cats can be weird colours, and the sort of undercolour of Oliver here is this kind of greeny grey. So I'm just going to paint the head part first, up down to the collar like that. We need to leave it white around the chops. So I'm going to clean the brush. This is an Aquash, Pentel Aquash water brush. And the water is in the handle, so when I do that, it cleans all the paint off the bristles. And so I'm keeping that white around the muzzle there. I'm just trying to think if I need to maybe make it a bit more. No, that'll be fine. So then I'm just going to do a great big sort of undercoat of this colour and get it all there as an undercoat, and then we can sort of paint the stripes on the top. I'm trying to think what colour it is. It's just a sort of greeny grey sort of greeny grey. That's a new technical term. Here we go, and we can paint that into there. Just got to keep, and I wanted to go reasonably fast here to keep it wet, and then that's kind of gone a bit dry up there, I can see, but I want to keep it fairly wet down here so that I can just add a little bit more blue and a bit more ochre, and then I can just, you want a bit more blue to make it more of a grey. And I'm just going to kind of just drop that in underneath here and underneath there, just to add a bit of sort of shading and moulding and modelling. While it's wet, then it will sort of flow into, I think we probably want to do something like that as well. But now I've cleaned the brush, and so I'm going to just add clear water there, and then hopefully that will just sort of fade in. And similarly here, adding clean water. So it's really hard work, you know, sort of trying to keep it trying to keep the water clear. And this is also quite a sort of a gritty kind of mix of colours as well. So I'm going to get my hairdryer. There we go. I can see there's a lot of chat going on. Maybe having a cat has put the cat among the pigeons. Ha! So, right. I'm going to get a little bit of scarlet in there and kind of mix it in with that. But I don't really want pink. But, yeah, I do. I want pink. There we go. And then I'm thinking I'm going to do this fairly basic, I think. Okay, so I'm going to work on these eyes for a moment. So I'm getting this lemon yellow, which is it's quite hard to work sometimes, but anyway. So I'm going to paint there, and I'm going to leave a little bit of white around where that white bit of the pupil is, and I'll get a bit of green as well. And I want to get that nice bright green that's kind of in the photo, which Karen took the photos. She's a great dog photographer. She's also a great cat photographer. And Karen sent me some of the photos of Oliver. So yeah, I think that kind of works. So I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm just going to dab that in there. I think I want it just a bit more, and then I'm going to add a little bit of sort of shade to it in a moment when it's dry. And I want a bit more pink for the nose, like that. We might have a little bit of pink down there, although that's not strictly correct. And just add a bit of that there. So I'm going to have a sort of a crimson-y kind of collar as well, I think. So we'll just do that while I'm there. And then it's going to be all about the stripes, I think. So I'm going to cheat. What you can do, I need lots and lots of sort of greys. And what you can do is get sort of brown, burnt umber. And this is the Winsor & Newton Cotman series sketches pocket set, and these colours are great to start off with, and that's why I'm using this. So if you get brown and then add some French ultramarine blue, you will get grey, and add a bit more blue and it'll turn into a bluey grey. But I'm going to, well, it's not cheating, I'm going to get my other paint set, in which I have a paint here called Neutral Tint, which comes already mixed as a grey. And as I was showing you yesterday, I won't be able to find it, will I? I've got so many dogs here. So when I'm doing the actual, this is the one I did yesterday. This is Max, Sweet Beep. When I'm actually doing the artwork for the book, then I paint it in this neutral tint colour, because then that scans really well. So I need to start putting some stripes in now. So I think the first thing, I'm just going to mix a bit of grey with this green sort of up here. I don't know why. I just feel I should, because I want to get a little bit of sort of light around the eyes like that, coming up about like that. So I'm going to clean my brush, and then I'm going to sort of pull that colour away with a clean brush so that it kind of fades away. But I want to have that kind of lighter line around the eye there. And oh, I know what's missing. 1, 2, 3. Ah, 1, 2, 3. I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited till it dried. 1, 2, 3. I'll wait till it dried before I pour the whiskers in. I think it's the whiskers that are missing. I always forget whiskers on cats. And I'm just going to tone down the teeth so they're not quite so wide. And I'm going to get a little bit of this. So I do everything with this neutral tint now, and I'm going to just put a little bit of shade there so that the eyebrows are kind of creating a little bit of shade inside the iris part. Iris, isn't it? Yeah. And we're going to need a bit of something going on in the ear like that. I didn't put any lines, draw any lines in there before, but we want something like that, and we want those to be quite dark as well up there. And I think I can make this a lot darker on the top of the head like that, sort of coming down, and then the top of those ear parts there. And then we have just got to start sort of building up lots of stripes and dots. So this is where it all starts to get interesting. So the kind of the chest is quite stripy, and we want to have these curves in there as well to help give that sort of feeling of that shape as well. And we want these sort of stripes which are starting to turn into little dots. So we want to get that kind of ocelot kind of look. And this brush does a nice little triangular shape, as you can see, which is about just exactly what I'm after here. So I want these kind of spots like that, and then they will start to kind of come together, and soon they become kind of stripes again, which sort of going something like that. So it's kind of working working your way around the shapes, and again we're going to want these kind of stripy kind of bits like that, and then it's just getting kind of darker and darker to the tip like that. And we're going to want something going on the leg as well. So on the legs as well, they're sort of coming sort of like that into stripes which are coming from one side to the other in a way like that. And there, yeah. And so of course in my mind I'm sort of trying to simplify this a bit. I'm thinking, how am I going to turn this into a character? So we need some more stripes on the head, so I'm going to sort of paint those in. So we need sort of 3 curving down from the top there, and I'm going to make that a little bit darker on the edge. Not happy about that, so I'm just going to get some more water on the brush. I think we need a bit of shade in there too, like that. And then we're going to want some more sort of markings coming down there, and I think we need one there, and eyebrow markings, and just underneath the eyes there we need markings, and we need some markings coming in from the side there, and I think we can sort of accentuate the curve by adding extra layers on here, which will just make it that bit darker on one side rather than the other, which will hopefully give it that sort of feeling of curvature and 3D-ness. And similarly we can do around the back here like that, and a little bit more on there. And I'm going to add some more crimson to this collar, which will just make it a bit more classy. And I think we need a bit more sort of shade in there, probably like that. And a bit more shade onto that one too. Clean the brush and then sort of wash that in. We're gonna need a few. Oh, well, the tail can have a bit more. Sort of, that's probably too dark. A little bit more on the sides, kind of there, just to make that a bit darker. And it needs another whoosh with a hairdryer. And then I can do the bit that I always forget. And the whiskers maketh the cat, don't they? Yeah, so I think we can just do a couple of little touches in there. Just make that a little bit darker. Clean the brush and then just kind of wash that down there a bit. And then I'm going to put some shade under there and under there and under there. Clean the brush and then just squeeze the brush a bit, and that'll drag some, that'll get some water out there, and we can drag that out into a bit of shade. And I'm going to call that it. Dog. Duh. Just to confuse everybody. Let me come over and have a look at the chat, see what you've been having to say. I think there's quite a lot going on here, isn't there? Quite a lot, yes. Prasu says your HMS Victory was very beautiful. Well, thank you very much. I did that a long time ago, HMS Victory. I think it was after I'd just been round it. I think it's quite a fantastic thing. It's an old man of war battleship from sort of 1800-ish time. Battle of Trafalgar was what, 1815? 1812, 1815. Anyway, Stacey Newby, fun, thanks. I'm dragging hubby to Zoom too. Great, excellent. See you tomorrow. Kevin Emoto, hi, greetings from Seattle, Washington. Hi, how are you doing over there? Joyce says, oh yes, Wigtown Book Festival shirt, love those, and fabulous event it was. Thank you, Joyce. Judy says, Big Shed, dog YouTube channel has the Big Dog YouTube channel has it, and their Facebook page, I think. Excellent, good. So if you look up the Big Dog Festival, then you should find the Big Dog Festival, and I'll be there somewhere. Trails, it's on YouTube. I'll watch this later. Great, you found it. A heron just flew past Judy's window. Cool. Chris Madry, it may have been a pterodactyl, very similar in flight. They are, aren't they? Herons have a really weird kind of flight. Trails, cute. Oh, kawaii. Joyce says, just love the expressions. There were Karen Macmillan. He was biting him. You think so? Play biting, I think. What a cute photo. Yeah, what a cute photo. Yeah, I love the Ginger Ninja, says Joyce. Thank you, Joyce. Trails, hi, Joyce. Let's go. Chris Ben, philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein said, if a lion could speak, we could not understand him. That's a bit deep. And yeah, it's been a long day. Chiro says, I think there's a good point in that. A lot of people who don't like cats, it's mostly because they don't understand them. They want them to be just like dogs, but they're not. No, that's a very good point. Cats are very, very different. They have a different way of working. And when I wrote the Ginger Ninja, one of my things was I thought if I went and wrote a book about cats, then generally, I mean, you can't say definitely, generally librarians are kind of cat people. They like to sort of curl up at night in front of the fire with a cat on their lap and read a book. So I thought, if I write a cat book, then all the librarians will want to stock it. And it sort of worked, actually. So Joy says, our cat Sula has staph. Oh, my goodness. The oil is burning. That's a new name. Hi there. I think cats were gods in ancient Egypt. They certainly were. They certainly were. In fact, I've got something. Yeah, my dad was in the army many, many years ago. I just reach up here, and he was in. Well, he was the 15th Signal Regiment, and there, out in the Middle East, and their symbol was a red cat, an Egyptian cat. And they were known as the Red Cats. Yeah, there you go. That's a little bit of interest for you. Where are we now? I think cats were in ancient. Yeah. Trail says Tango has beautiful ginger eyelashes, and when the sun touches it, wow, he's a sun god cat. I should do that closer to the microphone. Trails TM says Tango has beautiful ginger eyelashes, and when the sun touches it, wow, he's a sun god cat. Is that better? There you go. You getting those ASMR tingles? Charles TM says, cool. I must create a new one sometime soon. That was done ages ago. Joyce says, I was just thinking, Shoo, you must be exhausted. Yeah, it's just a book festival. The digital ones are pretty full on. I don't know how you do it, totally not. Yeah, as soon as I press that button and I go, I will deflate like a paddling pool where the thing's been pulled out. Firespawn, what's the cat breed? Well, it's a mix of things. So I think there was a bit of sort of Burmese or something. I can't remember now. I did discuss this with Julie, but I'm afraid it's going to take a while to find that. Anyway, Firespawn says, are you doing a cat series now? No. Not yet, anyway. I could do that, couldn't I? Oh, that's interesting. If I do that, that's good. Yeah. Bengal. Oliver is probably part Bengal. That's it. I said Burmese, didn't I? Bengal is not the word I was looking for. And I think the spots come out from Bengal. And our Shula that we had was very similar colour and markings. And she was an Aussie cat whose father was cat from down the road. Chris C said, that's not a dog. Where are the canine teeth? Yeah, some people file their teeth. Yeah, do you think she would do you think? No, you can't do that. That's taking it too far. Trails, this is so cool, so effortless on your part, but too much practice on our part. It's been a lot of practice for me too. Judy says, his eyes are gorgeous, full of character. Thank you. Charles totally isn't golden. Joyce says, Joyce says, oh yeah, the eyes are superb. Can really feel the character coming out. Sun God. Charles, my jokes a week. Joyce says, oops, yeah, been a long day at Big Dog Children's Festival. I can imagine. And Trails, Anne Barkley is also in Wigtown, and she's running the Big Dog show. He says, brilliant show. Hi, Anne. And we did her dog Fern this week, so we can I can rootle through here and have a little reprise for Fern if I can find Fern. I'm looking through here, looking through all these. So I tell you what, just before I go, I will go through all those dogs again, just to remind you, go through all the ones that I've done this month. Arturo says, I always struggle with shadows under characters. Yeah, it's practice, isn't it? And yeah, you just got to do a lot and see what works and what works for you. I mean, that little whoosh that I do at the end, that whoosh bit, that's just kind of worked really nicely in this series. Crispin, mine looks too kiddish. Yeah, that's okay. You can be cute and goodness. Oh. Karen says, you've totally captured his personality. Well done. Thank you. Irina McGee, thank you for all the nice afternoons. Thank you, Irina. Joyce, yes, we are, us librarians, very much cat people. Yeah. And Trail says, ASMR, woohoo. So that worked. Archie the Red Cats, that's so cool. That sounded like Megatron from those old... That sounded like Megatron from those old Transformers cartoons. Joyce says, please do a cat series. Well, the thing about cats is... rather, the thing about dogs, I was saying the other day, is that each breed, they are just so different. You know, big, little, small, sort of round and things, whereas cats tend to be kind of cat shape. And it's really the patterns much that are different. So, but I'll think about it. Maybe just a week rather than a whole 3 weeks. Judy says, I think I have serious competition for my side spot on the Wednesday drawing show. Chrissy, don't do a cat series. Cats are evil. Oh, no. And says, it's lovely watching without any of the pressure, She. Thank you. Great. And Trail says, oh, be confident, Judy. And lol, Shoo King of ASMR. And some of you are thinking, what on earth is he talking about? It's autonomous something or other, sensory mind-bending readathon, it stands for, something like that. So we are getting to the end. I'm going to go over to the overhead camera and I'm going to zoom out again. Oh, that's good, isn't it? Look, I can zoom right in there. Oh, where are we now? We need to come out a bit to focus in. There we are. But I'm going to zoom out so that we get there, and we're going to have a final roll call and go through all these dogs. And if there's one that's missing, then it's going to be in a drawer somewhere. But I think I got them all. So here we have Max, Sweet Beep, who likes to make new ice cream flavours with bacon bits and things. And here's Big Ben, or Spanky, who's a Mastiff. And there again is little Oliver. And this is Mac, who's a Border Terrier who wants to be in the circus. This is Dandelion, also known as Negrilla, who is kind of an interesting mix. There's a bit of Dachshund in there, but he's a bit sort of embarrassed about the short legs, so likes to hide in the dandelions so that nobody notices. This is Scout, who is an Instagram dog called the Backpack Beast, who is blind, completely blind, but sort of gets around really, really well. You can go and find Backpack Beast on Instagram and see all sorts of stuff going on there. This is Padme. Here's a Pekingese who is possibly going to be in a Jack Black movie, I think. And this is Hunter, who is a German pointer with only 3 legs. You didn't notice that, did you? You have to look twice and go, oh my goodness, there's a leg missing. And this is Rugby. This is Karen's dog. This is Sunny, also known as Rugby, who's just lovely and sunny and makes the world lovely. This is Miss Opaline, or Miss Opaline, who's a bull. I was going to say Steffi. No, it's a pit bull. Yeah. And this is Rockular. He's a Boston Terrier who thinks he's a vampire. This is the marvellous Miss Mavis, who is Pomeranian. And I'll do that one last. And then this is Gus, who's a French bulldog, and Noodle, who's a bit of a cheat. That's my brother-in-law's. And here we have Dark Lightning, and this is Dark Lightning who's also known as Safi, who is a lurcher, and this is sort of turning Dark Lightning into more of a book kind of character. And this was Lord Freddie of Halifax from Canada, who's just so totally in control, just snaps his paws and all the other dogs just chill. And oh my goodness, no, I haven't written this down. and I've forgotten. Karina will tell you. Remind me. I can't remember the name. This is a German wirehead dachshund whose name has just completely gone out of my head. And this is Medley, who is an Australian shepherd dog. And then finally we have I want to say Macarena. Oh, Macarena, Macarena. It's been a long time. So anyway, and then from this, Karina will tell you her name too. We did these on. This is what we did last time on Patreon on our Saturday tutorials, and we did these little paintings together. And have fun, got together, but come and join us. Come and join us on Patreon. This is my final plea for this series. Come and join us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/ShooRayner.com. And you can join us on Saturday on Zoom, and we can sort of chat and talk about watercolour papers and stuff like that. We're going to do complete beginners watercolour sessions. So if you kind of saw this and thought, I'd love to be able to do that, but I don't know where to start, and I'd be too embarrassed to even come along. Then come along and be embarrassed with everybody else. We'll all be embarrassed on Saturday and say, I don't know anything, and we can all start at the same place and have fun. So I think I'll just check if there's any more things. What have we got? Don't do a cat. See, we've had that. Just having a look at the chat. There are a couple of cat breeds that are very different from each other. There are. Karina says, a fabulous collection of characters. Thank you. Judy says, it's been a wonderful series. Thank you. Joyce, they are rather splendid. Thank you. Trails, totally awesome series, and hope more to come. Love everything you do. Thank you. Yin Yang. You are absolutely right. That was Yin Yang. That's right. Of course, I should have remembered there's the yin yang thing around there. Yeah, who sees everything from a different perspective, from street level. That was the whole thing, wasn't it? Yeah. Malena, and this is Malena, not Macarena. Come on, everybody, Macarena, Macarena. Don't do the right tune though, because Google will say. Yeah, copyright restrictions. Thank you. Judy Big Shelter said, when you finish book 3 and Firefly have snapped it up, plus the audio version, you could offer originals for sale, possibly. You never know. Gabriel's, this was a fantastic series. You've earned quite a rest, Mr. Rayner. Thank you. Thank you. Karina, I think she could sell prints. That's the thought. Joyce says, thank you so much, Shoo. Fascinating and inspiring as always. Have a good rest. I shall do. As far as I'm concerned, it feels like Friday. I've got that Friday feeling. So I won't be here tomorrow. I will be back next Wednesday with Judy on the Wednesday Drawing Show. So make sure you are subscribed. Look, if you could click down there, you will find a subscription button there. If you click that and subscribe to YouTube and then ring the little bell, you will get notifications when the next video is coming out, which will be next Wednesday, the Wednesday Drawing Show, because I don't think I'll do any before then. I'm going to have a break. And yeah, so this has all been great. Thank you everybody for having come along every day, and I'm going to go and have a bit of a break. I'm going to do some gardening tomorrow, I think. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to reach out for this button. I can say thank you all very much for watching. Thank you all for being here. And come and join me on Patreon on Saturday. Patreon.com/Shoo Rayner. Well, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you click that little subscribe button, and when you do, ring the bell so that you get notifications of when I am going to go live next. You can come along and join in and bring your ideas as well. In the meantime, stay safe, keep well, and keep drawing. Practice, 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 and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.